When you think of Botswana, you probably think of one thing: diamonds. For decades, they've been the engine of the country's growth, its stability, its whole story. But what happens when that engine sputters? When the world isn't buying and your country's biggest asset just starts piling up? Today, we're diving into Botswana's huge unsold diamond stockpile and what it means for the nation's future.
So, how on earth did this happen? To really wrap our heads around the scale of this problem, we've got to start at the source, deep in the ground of one of the most diamond-rich places on the planet.
For almost half a century, places just like this, the Jwaneng mine, have been the absolute heart of Botswana's economy. These mines literally transformed the nation. They paid for roads, schools, hospitals. Diamonds weren't just some luxury item, they were the very foundation of a modern African success story. But now, that foundation is starting to show some serious cracks.
It's a crazy paradox when you think about it. The one thing that built the country up is now the very thing weighing it down. You've got a perfect storm happening. Global demand for rough diamonds is weak. You've got the rise of lab-grown alternatives, and consumer tastes are just changing. And all of that has left Botswana sitting on a treasure it can't actually turn into cash. And this is the number at the very center of it all: 12 million carats. That's the mountain of unsold diamonds just sitting there in Botswana's inventory. To put it simply, that is a staggering amount of wealth that is completely frozen in place.
So that mountain of diamonds isn't just a figure of speech. Let's really dig in and unpack what a stockpile of this size actually means for the country's bottom line. Okay, so first, a super quick definition. What exactly is a stockpile in this case? Well, it's just what it sounds like. It's the inventory of rough diamonds that the country just can't sell. Either nobody's buying or the prices being offered are just way too low. It's basically product stuck on a shelf that's not making any money. Now here's where it gets really telling. That 12 million carat stockpile isn't just a big number. It's almost double the government's own official limit of 6.5 million carats. Think about that. They have their own internal red line, and they've just blown right past it. This isn't your average market slump. This is a full-blown inventory crisis. And this is the most crucial part. The problem doesn't just stop at the mine. Oh no. When your entire country is pretty much built on diamonds, a stockpile this massive creates a ripple effect that sends shockwaves through the whole economy. And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Diamonds make up a massive 80% of the country's exports. They contribute up to 30% of its entire GDP. It's like they say, when the diamond market catches a cold, Botswana's entire economy is at risk of getting pneumonia. I mean, the logic here is pretty straightforward, right? Why would you keep digging up more diamonds when you can't even sell the ones you've already got? So the immediate real-world effect of this stockpile is that production starts slowing way down. The engine is being throttled back on purpose. And this isn't just a theory. We've got the hard numbers to back it up. In just the first 9 months of 2025, production already dropped by over 3%. And that decline, it has a direct impact on jobs, on government revenue, and on economic activity all across the country. But sometimes a crisis can be a catalyst for change. All this pressure is actually forcing a really critical, maybe long overdue conversation inside Botswana. The government is starting to see this challenge as a wake-up call, one that's pushing the country to imagine a future that isn't so reliant on diamonds. And listen, this isn't just our analysis. This quote is straight from Botswana's own finance ministry. They're publicly saying, hey, this crisis shows us we have to diversify our economy. The alarm bells are ringing, and they're ringing from inside the government itself. So what's the game plan? Well, it's a huge shift in thinking. The government is basically putting everyone on notice that the era of the private sector being fueled by diamond money has to end. The new call to action is for private companies to innovate, to build new industries in things like tourism, finance, and technology, to create new ways to make money that have absolutely nothing to do with digging stuff out of the ground. And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? For a country whose entire modern identity, its prosperity, is so tied to this one single precious stone, trying to make this kind of pivot is just a monumental challenge. It's really a question of national reinvention, and whatever the answer is, it's going to define Botswana's future for generations to come.